welcome to What's Your View? Today, our topic is slavery. Our guest speaker is Tressa Chappelle. Tressa, what's your view?
You know, obviously it's very wrong. You know, they kept them in captivity and they aren't allowed to escape. The masters often used like bullwhips to hurt them and even used it on the children, which is obviously child abuse, which today is wrong. You know, we're lucky today that slavery is wrong because, and it's legal, because that kind of humanity was not, it was never corrected. It was seen as okay because these African Americans were taking the low. They were like the lowest of the low. So
We hear you're an expert on their working conditions and their duties and their rights. Tell us about them.
well, their conditions were kind of hard. You know, they had like 20 slaves put in one bunkhouse, and there was probably only about 5 beds. So, you know, obviously some were sleeping on the floor, and some were treated like dirt, basically.
Were the children with, and what were their duties? Did they take care of the slaves, other slaves?
Well, the children were treated like adults, basically. The male children had to work with the males. They had to learn their duties, and they were expected to do everything and be as strong as them, basically.
Don't forget the rape.
The women were showed around with the women, and often many of them were raped because they didn't care, and it wasn't wrong to them.
Just for their pleasure?
Pretty much, just for their pleasure.
I hear that they had no rights at all.
Right.
Some of them liked it though.
Or they were like treated like property.
Well, their rights, they didn't have any. They weren't allowed to leave their owner's property, and they just didn't have any at all. They weren't allowed to vote. Women were treated like they were nothing. So
I hear that still affects some African American people's self-esteem. That's horrible.
well, you know, today we have racism issues. So, you know, some person will hate this person because they're a different color.
Yeah.
And that still affects them because that's pretty much how slaves were treated.
Thank you for visiting us today, Tressa. And that's our take on What's Your View. Signing out, Melody Mitchell and Megan Hawkins.
Goodbye. Have a nice day.